Hey folks, welcome to the channel today. This series is about why. Why single plane? Why Mo Norman? Why keep your foot on the ground? Why do you hold the club the way you do? This is about teaching you everything you need to know about why you should be swinging on a single plane. So there's no better feeling knowing that when you wake up in the morning to go play golf, so that you're going to play well. There's no better feeling of hitting good golf shots down the fairway. So my mission today is to help as many people as possible wake up every day feeling good that they're going to go out there and play great because of the single plane swing. You know, as you may know or may not know, I have a company called Graves Golf with my brother Tim Graves and a bunch of great instructors that we teach the single plane to thousands of people every year. We have a very successful company and we have a blast doing what we do. Now, one of the things that we exist and the reason we've been around for 21 years is because we get results. I mean, we get results. And I want to talk today about why we get those results. And it's not because of Mo Norman. It's not because of the single plane. It's because the single plane and what Mo Norman did on a single plane produce the ideal result. So we're going to talk about the whys of the single plane swing and maybe even why I chose to do it this way. So let's kind of get into it a little bit. Now, one of the things that for me, and let me tell you a quick story. If you don't know who I am or know a little bit of my background, I was a struggling golfer just like you. I was a person. Now, I was a collegiate player. I had played a lot of amateur golf, and then I turned professional. But I struggled, and I was struggling to become a better golfer. And that's when I ran into Mo Norman and his single plane swing. And the reason I did that was because, not because it was Mo Norman, because, you know, he was regarded as the greatest ball striker. But I asked one very important question when I saw Mo hit a golf ball. And of course, what I saw was unique and different, and now we call it the single plane swing. But Mo Norman, I knew that there was a why. Why did he hold the club the way he held it? Why did he align the club the way he did? Why did he keep his feet on the ground through impact? There had to be a why behind everything. So I went into and I started looking at the biomechanics of why he did it. See, that's where I took it to the next level, because I don't like taking things for granted. I knew there was a reason, and I wanted to quantify that reason. If you've seen some of my work, not only on this channel but throughout Graves Golf, my work has been to quantify it. Well, once you quantify something, which means, hey, I measured how much rotation Mo has in his shoulders, how much rotation did he have in his arms, why did he put his arms the way he did it, how much rotation is in his hands, why is his foot on the ground, all these things that I measured was to produce a result, which was get the club face to impact. I mean, isn't that the reason we're here, is to see who can get the club face to impact the most consistently? And there's that word, consistency. What you want is consistency. You want to get the club to impact. You want to be able to go to the golf course and know, and follow me on this one, that even your bad swings are going to be pretty good. See, that was my contention about playing golf, was that I was good some days. I was really good. Then I'd be horrible the next. Then I'd be okay the next, and then horrible the next. The consistency wasn't there. Now when I play golf, and you've seen me play on this channel, if not, go back and watch some of the stuff we've done on the golf course. Now when I don't hit it quite great, I'm still pretty good because I have a very consistent swing thanks to the single plane and Mo Norman. So let's talk about the first why. And we're going to go throughout this series. Why do I grip the club the way I grip it? Why did Mo hold the club the way he held it? Why certain things? The first thing is, I just want to go to a very simple one. I'm going to ask you a question here. What is the easiest way to hit a ball on the ground with a stick? Right? What's the simplest way to hit a ball on the ground with a stick? And if those of you that have been following my channel, you're going to be like, oh, Todd, here we go back to the basics. But follow me on this for a second, because let's not even talk about rotational mechanics or any of the things that go on in a golf swing. But let's just talk about, if I'm going to hit that object with this stick, doesn't it only make sense to point the stick directly at the object? I mean, in a straight line? I mean, I'm just going basic here, right? Doesn't it make sense just to point the stick? And I'll tell you what's funny. You can look at non-single plane golfers, Justin Thomas, all the guys on tour, Koepka, whatever. Watch this. If they're not pointing, if they're not addressing by pointing at the ball, they are impacting pointing at the ball. So they're going to end up pointing their arms at the ball at impact anyway. Okay, so that's the why of why single plane, because it makes it easier. It makes it easier by pointing, creating this space. See, but if I point the club at the ball, I now have the same space Now when I have the same space, I can return to the same space every single time. And it makes, again, getting to impact easier. That's really what you're trying to do. All good golf swings, anything you're trying to do in your golf swing, if you're not trying to get to impact more consistently and better, you're not really helping your golf swing. So the result is, how can I get the club from address to impact? I'm going to go ahead and hit one, and I'll show you. It's addressing and impacting on the same plane. And that's my point, is that the goal here is to simplify your ability to go from address to impact. So why single plane? Because it makes impact easier. Now, let's talk about a couple of things here that you can take away from this. Now, I talked about this thing called space. Well, that's just the distance I have from the ball, which allows the club to move into this same impact plane. Well, that's important, because what it allows my body to do is less. My body doesn't have to lift. It doesn't have to over-rotate. All those things that you see happen in people who are too close to the golf ball. So, you see, and what's going to happen in this series, and we're going to do a number of videos on this, what's going to happen is, it's based on a few principles, and those principles add up into an easier golf swing. So this spatial relationship I have, when I get set up correctly into a single plane, now I have this space that allows me to get to impact. Well, my body position can now be different. For example, I can now have a flex lead knee and not a straight lead knee. I can now have a trail foot on the ground, not a trail foot lifted. So, and that's the thing about biomechanics, and that's the thing that I talk about a lot in mechanics, and that's why I teach what I teach, because you can't just take one element. That's been my kind of point on this, is you can't just take one element and go, well, I'm a conventional golfer. I know I'm not in single plane, but I'm going to keep my foot on the ground. Okay, well, that doesn't really match the spatial thing you've created with a single plane. Or I'm going to swing on a single plane, but I'm not going to hold the club in a neutral position. I don't want to change my grip. It's not going to work, because you have to match mechanics. We call them matchups. You have to match up lead hand, lead arm with tilt. Tilt with the body position with the spatial relationship, trail arm in a non-rotational position, and then now you can keep your foot on the ground on knee flex. It's a domino effect, which is a video I did recently. So I want you to know in this series, you're going to enjoy it because you're going to follow along. We're going to go through the whys of why single plane, why foot on the ground, why knee flex, why the arm rotation, why the tilt, all the things about the single plane swing. We're going to go through those in the next few videos. Hey, if you're enjoying this content, please click the bell icon, give me a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. We'll see you in the next video.